In this lesson we will talk about Vray dome lights. I'll divide this lesson into two parts. In this first part we will talk about the simple options of this light, and in the second part we will talk about HDRIs, as this light is frequently used for image-based lighting or used for environments. That's why we will start with the simple options so we can understand how it works in Vray, and then we will apply an advanced technique called the HDRI. You can see the dome light here. It's like a sphere or a hemisphere, depending what we are choosing. A dome light, it's a type of Vray light that shines inward at the scene from a spherical or hemispherical light source outside the scene extents. Let me explain this. I'll draw a sphere. It will be a lot more clear in this way. Our object or our scene in 3ds Max is placed inside a sphere, and we apply on that sphere a light that comes from all the directions. We can also specify the sphere distance and settings, but for now we will stick with default. You can see here we have our old previous scene. We have a Vray physical camera and we have a simple VrayLight plane. I will select the plane, the VrayLight plane, and I will change it into a dome light. Let's see how it acts in our render. So from modify we go from plane to dome, and you can see instantly we got a white light all around our object or our scene. First of all, if you remember, we had to raise our multiplier for this scene so we can match the camera settings. I'll go back to 30. You can see that we have a medium light then. If I'll go to 1, you can see that I don't have enough light. Next we had our color. We use temperature for interiors. That's why white being 6500 K, it's a white color. And by the way, switching off and on invisible, you can turn on and off the light. We will not see the light, but the light will shine or will emit light. We can change the temperature of our light. In this case, I will go back to our white or neutral white color. I will stop the render and I will try to explain some of the features or the options from the dome light rollout. So our dome light settings. We can change a light into a dome light, or we can use directly from here from Vray panel. You can see here first option we got the spherical or full dome. Let me start one more time the render. I will show better that in a real example or in our renderer. When this option spherical full dome is enabled, the dome light covers the entire sphere around the scene, and when disabled we got like a hemisphere only. Now if I will switch off this option, spherical, you can see that we got in the lower part black color, meaning that we don't have their light. We have the light coming only from the upper part or the upper hemisphere. Finite dome, when enabled, changes the way the dome light is calculated so that it emulates a dome with a physical size. As I said, we will stick with the default. We don't need for now sizes. We will use the HDRIs on our environment. I will show that in the next lesson. Next we got the alpha channel. We use alpha channel to cut things from our images. All the objects in the scene and our environment or the sphere or dome light is calculated with our objects. If we switch it off, our objects are calculated separately and we can cut them in, for example, in Photoshop for post-production. Next we got the ray distance. This specifies the method of determining the maximum distance to which shadows rays are going to be traced. We will go with the none. This is the default. We don't have to specify the ray distances for now. We also got the photon emission. This is used for caustics and not only. And we also got the adaptive dome. This speeds up the rendering by optimizing the sampling algorithm for the dome light. You have to use light cache for that. We will also go with the default settings for now. In the next lesson we will talk about HDRIs. This is the most important feature of this dome light. It will create a photorealistic appearance to our images.